Turning dirt and wrenches here, and today I wanted to show you this John Deere 40 combine. This is I think it might be the smallest self-propelled combine Deere ever made, but I'm not for sure on that. I'm not really an expert on Deere stuff. This was given to me by a friend of mine, and it is a project for someday. It does run, and I have engaged the separator. That's been a couple years ago, and we got it driven in here so it's out of the weather. But I don't know a lot of the history about it or anything, but it's a cool combine that I'd like to get running sometime. I'm sure it would need some going through, but let's just walk around it and see what we can see. It's got a 10-foot grain header on it. It's got 6 slats. My 30 only has 4 slats, and he replaced these. This has sat outside a lot in its lifetime. I know that. That board's kind of warped a little bit. But what do we got? We got one of those little extra downed wheat guards, or whatever you want to call those. They're kind of handy for different situations, but you don't have to have them. All chain drive. It's a power, yeah, because it's running off the that drive that does the auger. So you have a power reel, and I guess you don't really have any choice. It is what it is. There's no swapping sprockets. Huh. Greasable. Like I said, I don't really know a lot about it, and you know, life gets busy sometimes and projects get pushed back, so someday we'll get this out. Maybe make it work. Somebody stole a seat, which is unfortunate. There's no seat on this. One interesting thing that I do know, I don't know if it's totally unique to the 40 or not. Let me get the light up here. Is it has cable steering, but it's just for a short little bit. That's actually not looking too happy right there, is it? He replaced one, and then that looks like an original one. But the cables go through these pulleys and go out here to this drum. It's kind of tight down here in this barn, but I think I can go around behind it. And I'll show you the rest of the steering. Tires are holding there though. The header is sitting. Is it? Yeah. It held the header up for a long time, but now it's sitting down on the block. So you got the cables on that drum. Come out here, go onto this drum. Basically, it just winds up one and unwinds the other at the same time and transfers that motion to this rod. And then that rod goes all the way down here and comes into this, just a plain Pitman arm box. And he told me that you have to be very careful with that steering, and you don't try to turn it if you're not moving forward or backwards. You know, like with an M or something without power steering, you can kind of muscle through and force a turn if you're not moving. But apparently with this, if you do that, you will break the cable, which I think you definitely will, with that one being frayed a little bit. But let's see. This is pretty simple, kind of like the 30, except this one is a real narrow feeder house and cylinder. I know the cylinder's right back there. I'm guessing it's maybe 24, maybe 30 inches, somewhere in there. And like I said, I've only run this. I didn't notice that before. I've only run this in the yard just for a short bit before we pulled it in here. 73, 33. Someone's scribbling stuff. I don't know if that's service. Is that when they bought it? Surely not. I would think this would be 50s, 60s maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about 40s. There's your clean grain elevator, return elevator. Got your fan. I know it's got a few rust holes, maybe like on the fan, and I thought there was one up here somewhere, but it's not too bad. You know, it could easily be patched up. It wouldn't be, you know, like a show queen, but it would still, I imagine it would still combine just fine. All the innards are there. I think that is for a chopper or spreader drive. But let's take a look in here. I don't even remember if this has straw walkers or not. It is. It's a 3 straw walker, just like the Gleaner. Boy, this is narrow. I guess it's really no different than that Gleaner. Gleaner might be a little bit wider though. Got big old rattle chain up in there. Wood block bearings, greasable. Those will last forever. And cute little tie rods. Huh. Well, so let's climb up here and look at this engine. And you John Deere guys can tell me what engine this is, because I do not know. It does have a rotary screen on it. I don't know if they all had that or not, but this one does. So here we go. This is a little 4-cylinder gas motor. It's got a fuel pump on it, generator. It does charge. I was shocked. It does charge. And I ran it on 12 volt. I don't know if that's what's supposed to be. You guys can probably fill me in on that too. But just a little 4-cylinder gas motor. That's my current fuel tank. If I remember right, it had John Deere cast into the exhaust manifold or something, and it was real clear. I don't know if someone replaced the manifold. Yeah, look at that. That is the prettiest exhaust manifold I've ever seen. I don't know if this didn't have a lot of hours or if someone replaced that. But here's your carburetor, hydraulics, pump, and your controls. This is just as simple as it gets for a self-propelled combine. Manual swing on your unload. Let's get up to the operator's platform. So here's your display. That's lights. I don't think there's any lights on it right now, but that's where they would have been. That's your starter button. That's your power on. Oil pressure worked. The water temperature doesn't go all the way down, but it does work. And the amps work, and it charges. That shocked me, especially for sitting for so long with this voltage regulator all exposed. So that's where your seat would have been, and you would have had the option. It flips up like so, and you could stand if you got tired of sitting. So that's hydraulic, up and down. All you have is header up and down on the hydraulic. Steering wheel, just one manual brake, and that's the lever to set the parking brake. Your clutch. Gosh, it's been so long. That is the separator. Yeah, that is the separator engage right there. And I guess maybe that was it was engaging on them or something. I know that was on there, and I put it back on there after I engaged it. This is throttle, and you basically have 3 positions with throttle. So that's idle, and that would be like half, and that's full, I believe. And then that's just your choke. This is your gear shift lever. That's kind of unique. Let me show you that. All right, so this is a 4-speed. There's your pattern, but it's an up and down 8 shifter. So you got one gear, another gear, and then if you kind of wiggle it, it's a little stiff. It'll go down to another section, and you got a gear and a gear, or you go up. So you're doing this pattern. You got bang, 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 bang. Kind of unique way to do it, but it works. And then this is a variable drive as well, just like the Gleaner, except this is all mechanical. So that's your variable, your variable speed within each gear. You can, go faster, slower by setting that. That is the unload engage, the unload auger. We'll get down here and show you the other side. Tires are all holding there, looks like. So that's your main drive coming off the motor. This big flat belt and this great big drum is your main separator drive. There's the pulley that engages that. It just tightens the belt up. Here's your variable sheave for your transmission to get your varying speed on your gears. And that whole assembly just goes like this. And that sheave will slide over, one way or another to adjust the ratio. Basically what slightly newer Deeres did with hydraulics, like I think a 7700 I worked on once that was that way. But it had a hydraulic cylinder that moved that, kind of like the Gleaner, as opposed to just a mechanical. But great big differential, big pulley drive. That's your clutch lever there. And then that is your transmission shifter. You can see it goes down there. I don't know what any of that looks like in there. Is that a tin can? That is. That's a soup can that's wired over that bearing. That's interesting. Huh. I guess he knew it was going to be sitting out for a while. And here's the gas tank. It's got liquid gas in it that's probably 10 years old, but it's not rusted out. Oh, wait a minute. That's open. Did I drain that? Maybe I drained it. It's been too long. But I know the tank was good because I cut that line. They had like a little manual primer. They had it going up, had an electric pump on it. The mechanical pump doesn't work. But that is a future project, John Deere 40. It'd be neat to fix up, but there's just a lot of other stuff to do. In the meantime, it's not really deteriorating too much sitting inside. It got run a year ago. I always like to try to start things up and get fresh oil up on the seals every once in a while. And it drove itself in here. So there you go. Old school combine, and boy, that would be a dusty job. Oh, I can't imagine doing oats or something like that. Oh man, that'd be itchy. But you got a good view of your cutter. But anyway, that's a John Deere 40. Thanks for watching.